Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique, and this wreath is brought to you by Hobby Lobby. So tonight we're going to make a fun summer wreath, but we're going to use it with a trellis and look at it on my front door, and I even got those ferns from Hobby Lobby. Let's get started with some green floral foam. You're going to cut this down right in the middle, and we're only going to use one side of these, and we're going to have two pieces, one for the top and one for the bottom part. We're going to take our trellis that we got at Hobby Lobby, and you can pick out any type of trellis that they have, but this is the one I use, and I will leave, of course, all the links for all the products we use down below. So I just simply took two of my 8-inch zip ties and connected them together. And we are going to secure that around our trellis, but first we're going to have two sections for this to connect to the trellis, and we're going to add a little bit of hot glue. You're going to see that in a moment here before I connect it all together, but that's a kind of a crafter's tip. You don't have to have really long zip ties. You can just connect them together and it works beautifully. So we're going to put this together and secure our zip ties and cut it off the ends of our zip ties, but that is just as easy as it can be, and it will stay put, I promise. Then we're going to do this on the upper side. We're going to have two sides of this wreath that we're doing. And I know this is not the average wreath in a circle, but you got to think outside the box. And when you see the florals I picked out for this, you'll understand why. But I just saw this trellis and I thought, man, that would make such a pretty door decor. And I just feel like sometimes when you get a little bit stretched outside of your box, that's when the creativity happens, and Hobby Lobby makes that really, really easy. I don't know about you, but I'm all about the ferns, and ferns just, they say summertime to me. So we're going to cut these ferns apart. I did, for this project, use 3 of these stems. So we'll add one at the very end, but I'm going to just do it. We're going to pop that end of the stem into a Surebonder glue pot. It's off to the side. You can't really see it. I really wanted to focus on the placement of the florals for this video, but you guys have seen me do this so many times with that Surebonder pot, and you can get them at Hobby Lobby, and of course I'll leave that listed below as well. So one of the neat things about these beautiful ferns, number one, they look so real, it's not even funny. But I like the fact that I could make them smaller, like I'm doing right here, for the top part of our wreath. So I wanted to kind of make the top upper right hand corner just a smaller version of what we're doing on the lower left corner. So have your fun with it. And here's the thing, you can pick out any type of greenery at Hobby Lobby. They have the best florals and the best greenery, in my opinion, and 40% off. You just can't beat that. So make sure to check it out. Then we're going to grab some of this kind of trailing vine that I had on hand, and we're going to split this up. So because this has really not a lot of wire in its structure, we're going to need to get out some floral pens here in a moment. But some of it will have a wire and some of it won't. And what you're going to do is just going to cut in half near wherever the leaves are. And we are going to just kind of create our shorter vines. And that's what I really like about this. I end up using a little bit more of this at the end of this tutorial, but it's just so pretty, and it just flows so nicely with these ferns that it just really worked out well. And you're just gonna love how this turns out in the end. Of course you saw it, but I really love it. So it's nice to do something a little different. And with this trellis, it has legs on it. So if you don't want to put this on the door, maybe you want to put it in your garden, you could do that as well. So we're just going to add as much as we want here on the top and on the bottom of our wreath, even though we're doing it from right to left here. But you're just going to use those floral picks, dip them in your glue pot, and it will just make your life so much easier. And if you don't have a glue pot, you can get a glue gun at Hobby Lobby and just put it on the ends of your stems. It's really that simple. So we have this pick, and it was like a trailing vine. So we are going to secure it. We're going to put it in as one piece, and then we're going to separate it. And we're going to have some trailing down and some trailing up. We're going to take a floral pen like I just did. We're going to stick it in that glue pot. You see it up in the upper right hand corner of your screen, and then we're going to do the same thing down below. Then we're going to get the beautiful flowers. This was my inspiration. When I saw these flowers, I knew I needed to do something with them because it just spoke summer to me. And do you guys call this a Gerber daisy or a Gerbera? I'm not sure. I grew up calling it a Gerber daisy, but I've seen Gerbera as well. So we're going to dissect this, and we're going to even dissect it even more as we get into it. This can be a little difficult to cut, but again, if you got some good wire cutters, just be a little patient and it'll come apart for you. It's pretty simple. So let's put this together on our trellis, and what I'm going to do is take a little bit of apart. As you can see, I start taking it apart here, and you're going to just experience with what you want, and you're going to cut some, and that's the beauty of it. I end up cutting the little yellow daisy up there, but you know, you can do what you want. And that's the beauty of it. Go to Hobby Lobby. Maybe you're not a Gerber daisy. Maybe you like peonies or roses or lilies or tulips, whatever you want. Hobby Lobby is going to have it for you. So that's what I want to encourage you today, is just be creative. I'm going to take a little bit of the greenery again. We're going to use everything that was in that one flower bush. So all we needed for this project was one of these bushes, and it had all these beautiful flowers and these little berries, and it just was so brilliant. So again, I loved it. So for the top part here, I am pretty much cutting each piece off because I want to place them at the exact place that I want them. And so again, don't leave any of the greenery behind. That's what's the beauty of it. You're going to use all of it. And I'm going to show you how I do it with a purple floral here in a moment. But of course, I use the back of my scissors. You know, don't burn yourself. I kind of do that sometimes. But that's why the back of my scissors have a lot of glue on them. Fun fact there for you. But I hope you guys like this. I've had so much fun making it. We're going to make a beautiful bow here in a moment, but you're just going to keep filling in the spots. And if you want to make your floral foam a little bit smaller than I did, go right ahead. If you want to make it bigger because you want to add more florals and more greenery, that's okay too. So I just love this coral and this hot pink and the yellow together. It just is wonderful. I love it. You just can't get too vibrant for summer, in my opinion. Another tip is if you wanted to paint your trellis a different color, I would encourage you to check out the paint section at Hobby Lobby. They have a lot of great options that would make this really pop. So I wanted to keep the white because I knew what I wanted to use it for. But again, have fun with it. Let's make a bow, and it doesn't have to be hard. So you're going to take 10 inches as your tail, and you're going to meet 10 inches and you're going to come to the middle. You're going to make another 10 inches and come to the middle, and 10 more inches. So all of the cuts here and all of the gathers are at 10 inches each. You're going to take a zip tie and simply zip tie that middle, and you're going to cut a 10-inch tail. All right, think 10 times 4. All right, so now we're going to have another tail that we have at the edge, but this time we're going to do 8 inches. I check my bow to make sure it's the right length, and yes, perfect. We're going to do this 4 more times at 8 inches. We're going to keep them all the same, and that's where your rotary mat really comes in handy. All those squares are 1 inches apart, and again, you can get that at Hobby Lobby too. So I'm going to put it over top of the existing bow that I have. I'm going to take another zip tie, and we're going to attach it together. Really, it doesn't have to be hard to make a bow, and I do have wired, this is a wired ribbon that I got in the ribbon department, so it really does make a difference. I added a pipe cleaner. I didn't end up using it, but I would maybe recommend for this particular wreath maybe a wire versus the pipe cleaner. And then you're going to fold over each of your little tails, and I'm going to cut them. I cut them pretty short, but we dovetail them. You're going to take a floral wire, and we are going to dip it in our glue pot, and we are going to find a spot right in the middle of our arrangement here, and we're going to put it down into our floral foam. We're going to do that. I believe I do it twice. So did I do it? Let's see. Yep, I did it. And then I'm just going to hold it down with the back of my wire cutter so that it can set up and attach to it. The next part are these really purple like like purple, like pine flowers or something, or maybe they're cone flowers. And we're just going to add them wherever we want. I just felt like adding the purple was a nice pop of color. And I just felt like that if you were in a garden, these were the colors that you were going to see. So you can do that on the top and on the bottom. And if you want to add a bow to the top part too, you could do that too. But I didn't feel like I needed it. So we're going to attach all these little purple pine cone flower things. And then this was the leaves that came with those purple pine cones, and I wanted to make sure that we added them as well. Now, this was, remember this greenery? We still had a little bit left, and I wanted to find a few spots where I could add it to my project, just because I felt like I had a few bare spots, and this is what's so nice about it. You can add them where you need it. Now, I felt like the little berries needed to be cut. They were just kind of hanging a little bit too far up for me. So again, you can edit this any way you want. Now this is where I added the extra fern pieces. We're going to add one off to the side, and then we're going to cut this one down at the top. So it's really easy to do. Now if you made it through this whole video, number one, thank you. Number two, leave me a flower emoji down in the comments. So it lets me know that you watched the whole video, and I love to share all these tips and tricks with you. Now, you know I love some jute from Hobby Lobby, so I always have a roll of it. We're going to make a little hanger for our trellis here, because my hanger on my front door is a little bit bigger than the normal one. Unless you need to make this, this is really kind of up to you. How are you going to hang it? But it's just some simple jute, and it looks so pretty. But this is how it turned out. This is my front porch, and I love how it turned out. Now, if you notice that I have these ferns on the sides, those ferns came from Hobby Lobby as well, because I can't keep the real ones alive. So I grabbed some ferns from Hobby Lobby to really make my front porch pop. So Hobby Lobby, thank you for sponsoring this video, and we will see you next time on Julie's Wreath Boutique.